What's up, everybody? It's Tales from the Flipside. I have no idea what episode number it is. Dino does a better job of keeping track. We're here tonight. We're going to talk a little bit DC Hispanic Heritage Month, some TV, movie kind of spec, and of course, the market report. So let's get into it. All right, tonight we got, as usual, maybe not the smartest men in comics, but some of the best looking guys. So, welcome, gentlemen. Definitely the smoothest down there with Mercer Knott. So, uh, kind of a calm, I guess, call it news week as far as spec and all that good stuff. But, of course, lots and lots of controversy is every week. You can find something. I think we're finally gonna get rid of the controversy about cover staples and stuff for a few days at least, and talk about something else for a change. So let's start with the big one and talk about this. Sorry. Sorry. Spanish Heritage fiasco.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot about this until one of our friends posted in a chat, and so I don't know, maybe I don't think you guys are in there. I'm not sure, but so I posted in ours, and maybe everybody's already been like seeing this, but
there's been some chatter on some channels and some websites. So
yeah, this was a little trippy. It's not as at first glance, I don't think it's as nefarious as it might seem. Just sort of tone deaf and maybe poor taste, because Molina seemed to have really put his heart and soul into the one on the left, which is an homage. As you can see on there, it's signed in to an. I put a screen cap in there. Sorry, I'll have to open it up because maybe I wasn't as. So it's to Jorge Gonzalez Camarena, and I get as great Spanish mural.
Dino didn't clip that one. Sorry.
That's all good. It's all good. So anyway, so it was an homage. So it seemed pretty bad to rip the Mexican flag, put Viva Mexico, and throw a bag of tamales in there, an overflowing bag of tamales. Even though we know we all get a whole bag of tamales, we don't get like 2 tamales, right?
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
That's a real cover.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap! I thought that was a spoof.
No, that's what DC is gonna drop.
Wow.
So Chris and I have been talking about it more, and so this is kind of the controversy: is the artists didn't even know they were doing this,
right?
And I'm not even sure how much of it's his original art at this point. I mean, parts of it are, but they've changed the pose, the background. I mean, a lot of it.
I think he's trying not to dig too much, so he pointed out that his signature is only on one of them.
Yeah,
as you can see. Yeah. So, but I mean,
I get it. So, we're talking tone deaf, and the other image, like there seems to be some kind of theme that didn't. I don't know. It's almost like these are Deadpool covers to me, with the.
It seems like food was the underlying theme of all the other ones, because everybody's eating or either running food or at a cookout or something. But it was just it's super tone deaf. That it's like somebody said in the comments on the middle. It's like, what do we? It's like, what do we know about Hispanic people? It's like they have good food. Go with it.
This was submitted as the image here too. Like when you look at this one, this is the original one.
Oh, we're not seeing anything.
Oh, sorry. The wrong screen. No wonder. I'm talking to myself, huh? So this is all of them, but
does this have all of them? Okay.
Yeah, but so a lot of them, are these food themes.
It's not quite as bad as it first looks when you find out it is. Bang got some flan.
Yeah,
so it's not quite as bad when it's super. But this is campy.
That looks like a Deadpool cover right there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you look, the original submission, this is a Molina cover here.
Yeah, he took priority to make something what he felt worthy of his heritage and honor to create this.
Maybe
It
he
shows
missed the
a
note that
renowned
it was
artist.
food.
He either missed it or they didn't. I don't know if they told him,
I
but
mean,
now that
God.
you can see, but the fact that they already had solicited that one, in my opinion, and also there seems like there could have been. I only saw one guy tweet this, but it's a it's a check mark, so it's supposedly it's a verified Twitter account. I only saw one guy tweet that there was a copyright issue. There's a copyright issue, and all. And if it's a copyright issue, cool. But like, you got to scrap that whole cover, man. You can't advertise that solicit and then change it to a bag of tamales. That's rough.
I mean, we all like Hispanic food, but I mean, why would you make that as a theme?
The
Yeah.
food, I don't know. I don't know. If that's just, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it almost feels like, and I said before, it feels like a reverse homage to Deadpool themes, and his love of chimichanga covers and whatnot. It's just strange.
Well, yeah, but that's one character's like shtick, though.
Yeah.
So these, I don't know.
I mean,
if you never saw the original, and considering the theme, if we never saw the original, I don't even think there's an issue. I think it's kind of like, all right, well, they did it for all the characters. You could say, you don't like that the food is the theme, like if that, like that's supposedly the one thing that, that you think of or something. I don't know what it is.
It's just interesting. I mean, it's just it took it from like a serious cover to just goofy as hell.
Yeah.
Space tamales falling out of a bag. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll sell a bunch of covers now.
Well, at least they were true to gravity. They're losing some tamales there, dude. So there's that.
I don't know, man. It's just weird.
Yeah, it just seems in real poor taste. It's like, I mean, I can't help but think about the Miles Morales store scenario. It just feels like, who's an editorial, and like, how did you think that this was a good idea?
Oh God, yeah.
There's so many other themes you could have taken. On this avenue, you could have done so many other. I don't even know how to. It just went wrong.
Yeah, or let artists do it though, like Molina did. The way they want to do it, something that seems meaningful.
Yeah, I mean, if it was copyright, you could probably could have changed enough to make it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's wonky at best. At best. I feel like these covers deserve captions. So if anybody in the chat's bored, feel free to entertain us with your comments and thoughts on some of these. What's your favorite? What's the worst? How much worse can they get? I don't know. It feels like it deserves some chatter. So feel free to banter amongst yourselves.
Yeah, and also doing an homage to, I guess, an important piece of art, one that he loves and respects, for an artist that he wanted to pay homage to, that one of the original mural artists. It really seems in even worse taste to mess up the homage. It's like a double slap in the face, especially to Molina, who's a great artist. So
I mean, if they did this on a Black History Month cover theme, would be.
Oh, it's game over at that point. Like,
I mean, and if you took like famous murals and then started to change them into tamales, or I just is. I don't know what they were thinking.
I mean, and the only reason why I think like it's not getting straight like pitchforks is because all the other ones were done with the food theme by Hispanic artists, and so I think that's what it's like. Well, maybe you could play the game of he didn't get the memo, or we changed the idea after we initially requested this piece be done by him, and so we didn't want to go back and have. I mean, they could always make all the excuses in the world, and I think the only thing they're saving grace is the fact that all Hispanic creators are doing the other covers and did those as from what it seems to be as requested is what they presented. But yeah, if they went back and started changing these and it was non-Hispanic creators doing this. I mean, again, like I just keep pointing to Miles Morales' store. Like that's not ending well no matter what you do.
I don't know. I think it's just even what they did on this particular cover is wonky. Like the other ones were not tasteful, but just not strange.
Yeah.
Like the tamales in space in a bag is it's a weird image. Because Bane's eating flan, and somebody's got tacos, somebody's got the fruit stuff. It just this one just feels particularly strange.
Yeah.
Off missed the mark.
I started thinking of the other ones. I was like, they could show me holding like a bag of cheeseburgers, right? And I would be like, I'd have to eat. I had one today. I'd have to wear that one, but
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's strange. Is all I got. Strange.
Yeah.
We all saw this coming. Resident Evil canceled after a season. Did anybody get past like an episode or two of this?
Never got to one of them. Like I was like, oh yeah, I didn't watch that.
I got through about half an hour of an episode, and I just was like, this is the dullest thing I've ever watched. So,
what was it about? Like, did it have like any action? What was happening?
There's one scene of action at the very beginning, maybe 3-4 minutes, and then it's just a father and daughters moving to the Raccoon City or whatever. I don't know. It just was a very slow draw.
Did it feel like they wanted to spend any money?
I don't know. I mean, it's a decent cast. It just maybe they were trying to keep the budget low. Maybe they were trying to save it for later.
It sounds like a Last of Us ripoff.
Maybe it just didn't. It didn't have anything to catch you at the beginning. I think was the problem. You gotta have a little bit of a go, and it just didn't seem to go anywhere fast enough. Like they just needed it. You almost need to tease us with enough excitement. I understand there's got to be a story, but there's a mix, and you can't give us 2 minutes of action and then 38 minutes of prequel with not a lot going on.
Yeah.
On a movie on a movie based on a game that's a game full of action. So, this is comic adjacent at best, but who doesn't want to watch about the last Blockbuster? I love Randall Park. He is phenomenal in everything he does, so definitely worth interest. I don't know why we care about images, but Dino threw it in there, so I think it'll be fun.
So is it just
It's the story of there was one last Blockbuster run in the country. I think it was in
it's in Oregon.
I mean,
was it Oregon? I was gonna say Portland or Oregon area.
Yeah, but they already had a Netflix show on it, right?
They had a documentary about it.
Yeah, so this is a sitcom.
Yes,
based on it.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So, I mean,
yeah, I had to watch that. Just nostalgic shit, man. To be honest, man, I remember moved off to college. I didn't have any friends yet, dude. We're chilling Friday night at Blockbuster, taking an hour and a half to pick 2 movies.
I was in Errol. I was in Errol's video man myself.
I actually worked one summer in a video store. It was not a Blockbuster, but I did spend one summer slinging cassettes. So
I found them in Hollywood to be interchangeable for me mostly. Whatever was closer to where I lived, depending on which apartment in which state.
Yeah,
that was what that was where I shopped for my rentals.
And now you're like, God, why would I want to take a movie back?
Or there are certain ones, but I didn't rent and I didn't go often, but they had like beads hanging down. And
Oh yeah, those.
and you just had to say,
the section in the back.
couldn't even hide behind a COVID mask back then. And you just had to wear it. And you only had $16. You had to be careful how you spent it.
The store I worked at definitely had one of those rooms, and restocking was always like, oh, good. We were part of the week.
Oh boy.
So I don't know. I mean, Carter's like, man, I wish I could find a Blockbuster that was closed down with all the inventory floating in there. Probably find something good.
I know, right? The best you could do is find somebody that like used to own a Blockbuster or used to like run a Blockbuster. That's about as good as it gets nowadays.
Yeah. There's probably some honey holes floating around. All right. This is one that article that Dino found. Why Marvel Phase 5 and 6 could kill off movie theaters. Just kind of reading through it, the gist of it is basically these theaters are surviving on the Marvel and other kind of big tentpole movies, Maverick and whatever, and then other than that, they're hitting a drought. Like the last several weeks have been a desert for movies, and they're not expecting a $25 million movie until maybe late October, which would be Shazam, and I think there was a kids movie. Oh no, it was a horror movie, Halloween.
Yeah,
like that's their next hope, and that's
Shazam
8 weeks away.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't Shazam get pushed?
I said Shazam. I meant Black Adam.
Okay, yeah, Black Adam. Yeah, it's still happening.
So October's Black Adam and Halloween. So they've got 8 weeks, and they don't think there's a $20 million movie between now and then.
Oof, that's not good.
I mean,
they're right. I didn't think about it. I read the article, obviously. It wasn't really occurring to me that the Star Wars doesn't have like anything on the horizon that's not Disney Plus.
No,
is it?
No,
Nothing, man. That's not good. That's not good either. I guess I get it, but
and like, sucks,
man. I don't want this experience to go away. Maybe I could go more. I think people just forgot. I think people just stayed home for so damn long and they forgot there's like fun shit to do.
Well, I think it's also partially. I mean, you watch a movie and it's gonna hit Disney Plus in 6 weeks, 4 weeks sometimes.
Well, I mean, there's more to films than just what Disney Marvel is doing. Like A24 is putting out quality films, but people got to get up and go see them. I mean, X was good. There's a sequel to it coming out in like September that nobody saw coming. They dropped that one. Like, there's been a couple good movies. Like, there was a random Bollywood film called like RRR that just dropped that was actually really, really good. Like, there's stuff that's coming to theaters that if you are a fan of film, like, go see it. I think the issue is that like, people aren't putting these big promotion budgets into, or any type of budget into the promotion of these smaller things. And we live in a world now where, we don't watch commercials anymore. So you don't see, unless you are the type of person like myself who hops on and like stays actively like connected to like trailer YouTube channels. Like, I honestly wouldn't know what was happening if it wasn't that I sought out what was coming to theaters. So I think that's more what the issue is than like these companies are building, like, are basing their entire, profitability off of big blockbusters. I think it's the fact that like there's still stuff that comes out every single week, like that 3,000 Years of Yearning with Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton, where he's the genie. Apparently that's really damn good. Like, people just need to listen to the radio, listen for advertisements, and actually go watch trailers and be like, oh, that looks like something I want to go see.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. And you know what? Another one I used to think that, because I've watched TV so differently for a while now. I remember I made an argument in like a undergraduate college about people actually wanting commercials for certain things, and movies was one of them. Like I never mind seeing that. Like, you know, I never really I didn't mind seeing that, and I really don't watch commercials anymore. And unless like you said, Chris, unless it's YouTube or something. And to be honest, that's more likely that someone sends me a link and it's, you know, one of these genres, because that's what they're going to send me, or a famous actor, actress, something that looks badass, you know. That's the stuff that I'm going to see. So I don't, you know, I've been fast forwarding through commercials for a long time, and I even I only stream now. Also, I don't have DirecTV anymore. And so, yeah, I'm not forced to see any of it. The only time I guess would be during live sports, and I honestly don't pay that much attention. Flip through my phone or something like that. And to be honest, um, the stuff I watch live the most is either I don't watch as much baseball anymore, so it's going to be football Sundays, or a primetime game if I feel like watching the teams, or live NBA. But most NBA I watch until towards the end of the season when things start to count. A lot of times I don't even tune in until the third or fourth quarter, and that's if I think it's a close game. And I don't always watch first and second quarter because I do have to share my television. But yeah, so I don't know. Not too many commercials being are out there. You know, you think maybe kids would want to go more because young people are like so tuned in to YouTube life, like way more I think than a lot of us are. You know, my mom would never just sit down and turn on YouTube. My wife never sat down, turn on. Somebody sends her a link, she'll watch something that she won't go down a YouTube hole like I will for like while I'm working in my office for like 5 hours a day or something like that. You know, I think people are just getting it different. So I'm surprised the kids seeing commercials. I don't know. Maybe they're just used to the small screen. Don't care. I don't know.
Well, like my kid will watch previews on Netflix. He's like every movie he thinks about watching watches the trailer. But like I just think maybe they need to figure out a new way to market it, because I do remember 5 to 6 years ago, most of what I used YouTube would be Googling the next trailer coming or what else is coming out, and it's almost like a trailer's too long for people's attention, you know, because that's a 90-second to 2-minute trailer most of the time. And nobody, I mean, people are watching TikToks that are 20 seconds now.
Well, you know, what's funny is that like they use Instagram and TikTok to promote movies now also. Like you'll see like, you know, Instagram TikTokers who have large followings will do like a targeted ad of sorts, TikTok type of situation. Some of them have actually been pretty funny. Some of them are pretty entertaining. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool that they're using that medium to get people hopefully to show up to go see, you know, movies. I just think also too that there's people got really accustomed to everything being like delivered to them through streaming because, you know, a lot of platforms went that route with COVID. You know, whereas some people were like, we're just not going to put it out. Other platforms were just like you know, the Warner Brothers of the world were just like, we want subscribers, so we're going to release major blockbuster films on streaming. And now people are just like, well, I can wait. I can avoid the internet for, you know, a couple weeks when it'll show up and be free to me to watch on streaming. It's just, I think people have lost interest in the experience. I mean, I am a cinephile through and through. I will get up and always go to the movies to watch stuff, but I am of a dying breed. Like people aren't like me anymore where they're like, I need the experience of the audio, the screen, the smell of the popcorn. Like it was part of my childhood and, you know, most of my adult life to get up and go to the movies when I wanted to see something and have that experience. It's just not, people aren't built the same way anymore. So I think that's more the issue than anything. I don't think Marvel or anybody else is causing this with the focus on blockbusters, you know, because they're still releasing stuff under the 20th century imprint and everything else. I think it's just people aren't going to the movies like that anymore. And it's sad more than anything.
And I mean, my kids sometimes want to go see things like, but it's not universal. They'll want to see a Marvel movie just because they're used to it. But honestly, if it hit the streaming first, they wouldn't care. You know, they want to see it because of timing, like the Minions movies. You know, my little one's like, let's go see it. I'm like, okay, but it's purely just because he wants to see it because his friends are talking about it. But it's not like the experience that they care about.
No,
Like,
and that part of it's actually important too because that used to be a thing. Like I remember like seeing a movie over the weekend and not wanting to be left out of the conversation come school on Monday, talking about like that movie or knowing the one liners from it or being able to quote it basically from memory. Um, and then college kind of, had the DVD kind of surgence and stuff. So that's when we kind of started to slip on seeing things in real time. But you would have stuff have like these second lives in DVD format, and you'd watch it, 45 times with the guys in your suite mates, and you guys would just basically sit there and quote that stuff nonstop to each other, like Step Brothers and stuff like that. So I just think the world's changing in a way where that's just not a part of the experience anymore.
I remember the kids in junior high quoting New Jack City and feeling so left out.
Chris mentioned DVDs, and I don't remember if it's new or old. I saw something fairly recently of Matt Damon talking about why big movies are dying and people don't want to take risks is because they don't have any shots of the DVD
Absolutely.
money. There's nothing. You either hit the theater or you don't, and even to get any kind of movie made that's not truly small budget, after you factor in advertising and all that, it's 75, 100 million to really do it right.
Yeah, so that's something that gets to talk about a lot in like podcasts that talk about film and things like that. Is the mid budget comedy is dead. Like you don't get movies like 40-Year-Old Virgin and Step Brothers and like all the stuff that made Judd Apatow famous. Like those movies are hell. I mean, I think I was in college and I was a prime example of the Wedding Crashers crew. Like nobody saw Wedding Crashers in theaters, but everybody had a copy of that when they were in college and watched it until like the damn thing wouldn't play anymore and could quote all the lines from it because comedies, nobody saw them in real time, but everybody bought them. Like hell, you'd lose a copy and buy it again. And like so those type of movies were getting a second life in DVD land and rental world, and now that doesn't exist anymore. Like there's no money to be made off of streaming a mid-budget comedy, so nobody has any motivation to make them anymore because you're not going to make any type of money off of them whatsoever.
Yeah, and if they do spend a little more, it seems like they're hitting the streaming. And like you said, like we've got like the Gray Man, like we got Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling in an action movie fighting against each other throughout the movie or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I guess maybe I'll turn that on. And then you go to San Diego and there's like a Gray Man exhibit outside of the Comic-Con and stuff, so they're advertising in that way. And a lot of that's probably playing off those guys being in the movie, but it's sitting in there stuff like that. Like yesterday or this week or whatever, I turn on Netflix, which I do almost daily, even if I'm just gonna put something on in the background, and there's a literally brand new movie with Marky Mark and Kevin Hart that I have never heard of.
Oh yeah, that Netflix film.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kevin Hart pretty much lives on Netflix. Like, there's a Kevin Hart movie every week, I think.
But that's something. But like, think about how, not that long ago, if either of those guys are going to make a movie independently, much less together, you're gonna know it's in the theater or was in the theater, whether or not.
Well, I don't think any of these are in the theater. These are
what I'm saying.
Netflix originals.
Yeah. That is where the mid-budget comedy goes now. Like that film would have probably had a run, and at least a couple people would have bought it, on DVD and shown their friends, and then word of mouth would have spread. But now it just goes into the oeuvre that is the Netflix back catalog, and nobody ever watches it.
And then, and prior to VHS, man, they used to have like, NC-17 movies in the movie theaters where there was lots of sex in the 80s and such like that, because people would like want to see that but not want to go to the dirty theater and not have access to like whatever else. So you don't see there's all kinds of genres that either changed, have left, or moving on. And it does suck not having those comedies, because like it's cool to watch with your friends or something. And honestly, man, like I do not get together with friends and like watch movies. I have one friend whose house that we go to. I will go to the theaters with them, but that's an event. But we don't really go sit on each other's couches or anything like that. And then,
Yeah, that experience is dead.
yeah, it's gone. And so I have, and hopefully it's not for younger people that are always hanging out. It's not like I don't have roommates or something anymore, where it's just like, yeah, let's watch some. I heard this shit's funny. Let's turn it on. And then
I don't know. I don't. I think they're so used to watching their own screen. Nobody like actually unified watches stuff anymore. Like my kids, unless I'm actually making them watch something, they'll all three be watching on a separate device or screen. Maybe one of them's using the TV. There's not a shared experience.
Yeah, I first tripped out. This is the first time I'd seen this. It was a few years ago, and my niece is on her phone. I don't know. I think she either just turned 14 or she's 14. So she was, let's say she was like 10. Okay, 10, 11 years old. So she's sitting there, and I don't remember if she had her own phone yet or if she's using her mom or dad's or something. But we're at dinner, and she's chilling, and I'm like what are you what are you doing? Are you playing a game? She's like, no. So I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, watching a game. And I'm like, you're just watching that? What are you playing? She's like, well, I'm watching because my friend's playing. And it's just a video game that I say somehow because I literally don't play video games. You plug in some old school stuff, I'll play with you, but I don't have access to that, and I really don't play games on my phone for probably that reason. And then I already lose enough time to freaking Twitter and Instagram. So, so I'm sitting there watching, and I'm like, okay, you tell us about school or whatever. But she's also like really nice and more quiet. But her little sister, she can just have that tablet. Shut up, please. Anyway, sorry if you're listening.
So I don't know. Maybe they need to find a new way to market it. It's got to be. They can't spend the money they used to spend to do it. So they got to find a way to be. I mean, the last movie that's not Marvel that I remember seeing ads for is the Jordan Peele. Anything his seems to hit somewhere. They wherever they market must be well because I see it enough places to know it's coming.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe people need to follow whatever that is. I don't even know where I saw it, but I remember seeing that ads for that movie everywhere.
I mean, it's a matter of budgeting. Like it's nobody wants to take that risk. I mean, that's the reason why they shit canned all the stuff over at DC is because you're going to spend the same amount of money that it took you to make the damn thing. If you're going to advertise it effectively, is basically the same amount of money. So, like, unless you think something at $90 million budget can recoup up over $180 million, it ain't worth your time to do it.
I gotta think though, there's gotta be a more targeted way they can do it too. Though, I mean, this whole social media thing's derived at targeting the people that are most likely to see it. Instead of spending $50 million to get TV coverage everywhere, there's probably a better way they can do this.
I mean, but you got to pay those social media folks. Like, they're not going to do it for free, so you got to pay them. I mean, a couple billboards, running a couple, trailers in front of stuff like that. You'd be surprised. It adds up fast just because money doesn't go nearly as far as it used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the the common thing that I said is like when you saw a movie like ridiculously advertised like everywhere, movie theater days, called 10 years, 20 years ago, 30, whatever. If you saw it everywhere, why drive down Sunset and you've got billboards and drive all the way and drive west, drive east, drive to the beach or freeway. If you're driving and doing that and you see that shit everywhere, you see it on the side of the buses, that movie's good because they've had all the feedback they need by then. They invested all the money they need. And that movie's I mean, by good, I mean it's going to appeal to a whole lot of people that's going to make them a lot of money in the theater is what I mean by good. I'm not trying to, And so if they spent all that money, that's where they spend it. And even if they spent way too much money on it, and they don't scrap them anymore. They spend too much money. They just sort of release it without the fanfare and the extra money because they know it's going to suck. They almost always know what's going to be good. And now, like Chris was saying, they're a little too scared to even take that next step. It seems, because they don't have the straight to DVD option anymore. Really,
I mean, some of the studios are screwed. But like, okay, let's say Warner Brothers, HBO Max they've got, or HBO, whatever their new format's going to end up being. Show the movie previews as you're waiting. You dial into Netflix, anything you're clicked on, they show you a preview. You don't have a chance to think, and Prime uses that for their stuff. Whatever's coming. Use some of these other things that are already yours.
Yeah.
Disney will do it too. I remember when they had what was that rock? The river boat or ocean river cruise, whatever, Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
They were advertising it on their own media to go see it. Go see this movie. I don't know. I mean, some of the studios can't do that, but you could do a better job with some of that stuff that's already in-house. If you're making all the shows for in-house content, use what you got to advertise that stuff. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. Anybody have any other thoughts on that wonderful stuff?
Not really. Same as everybody else.
There's going to be senior citizen theaters for us, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Popcorn and a straw because we can't chew it anymore.
Yeah, the big comic movies hit. Just something to do, and nowadays it's almost always like on the Thursday, like at 2:00 by myself, and rarely I'll have like a friend or someone go, because I still like to be on and not have the spoilers and be the first to see it, even if I'm not super excited about it. It's like $12 and a gallon of gas. Well, and then like $32 for a tub of popcorn and one soda. But other than that,
I'll take the kids sometimes, but it's gotta really resonate with at least enough people to make it worth it in the house.
And I think that's something that has also changed. I mean, not to beat this horse any further, but I think when we all were younger or kids, like if something just seemed vaguely entertaining, we probably either went to go see it or our parents dragged us to it. Like, I lived in the movie theaters, basically. Like, if it wasn't the movie theaters, then it was going to the local video rental place, as we were talking about at the top of the show. It's like we were grabbing at least 3 movies on Friday night and blitzing through them by the end of the day on Sunday to return them every single weekend that we weren't going to the movies to see something else. So it was just, the movie watching experience was just ingrained in us for, as kids. And I think that is lost on this generation. And yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to necessarily get it back, per se.
Well, I think, yeah, you're right. We were the end of the, cable TV was there, but it wasn't what it is now. And then you just didn't have the options where now you can watch everything all the time. You can watch 2-minute YouTubes, or you can watch 17 hours of House Hunters,
Well, and also it took almost a year before something that released in theaters was available for you to watch, in any type of home format. So like, you really had to make a judgment call. Is this thing so insignificant that I am willing to wait the next year to like it's one thing to be like, oh, I can wait the 2 months or the month and a half that is before it's finished showing up on streaming. But it was a different story, man, when it was like, I mean, the fastest turnaround time for a movie in the 80s was the 6 months that like Batman had from summer to winter of 89. Like, that was unheard of prior to then. It was like, oh, this came out in 84. You might see it in early 86.
You were seeing sequels before you saw the movie. Sometimes it felt like.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and think about it. We've all seen all the same movies, in like 90% the same movies of anybody that's like within 3 years of your age. We all saw them in the theaters. You know what I mean? Like, you did that, and I'm same thing here. Going to the movies was like a thing to get out, to have your parents drop you off and do something when you needed a ride. It was a way to get left off somewhere. So what the kids not understand? You get to go get left alone for like 3 hours. You can even just go in the bathroom and be on your phone for 3 hours and pretend you saw the movie. Like, I don't know, man. Those were the good hangouts. You know what I mean? And the movie theaters were always at the damn mall. So I don't know. Kids are missing out. Go get dropped off. It gets dark in there. Bring your girlfriend. Right? Tell me some of your best memories aren't making out as a teenager in a movie theater.
Experience is lost. All right. Well, we're gonna roll into the market report. I will try and entertain us with something. This one, I've seen a lot of cover sell. I've rarely seen a 60% of a cover sell for that much money. I mean, we were talking early action, Superman cover without the Superman part. So I don't know. I think whoever got the other half of that one probably got the better deal. But it's I don't know. This other than that Action Comic one, like the price thing. This is one of the kind of smallest chunks of a comic I've seen sell, I guess.
In Catholic school, we learned a lot about relics, just small, tiny fragments of things that were significant. And this don't count. I'd have just balled this thing up and just be like, okay, it's a loss.
Well, I would have probably, if you don't know what I'd keep it, but like, you wouldn't think to do this.
I can't, like, even just like that, I'd just be like, you know what? We're gonna smolder it. We're gonna do like old American flags, smolder them. Yeah, just be respectful and just out in the air.
Burn it on a pile of comics.
Yeah, something. Just let it go. It's okay. Let it go. It's all right.
Well, you're gonna have some people with pitchforks out there, and I'll probably piss people off with this one. But I saw this one and I'm like, okay, 2,100 for. It's only missing one page. Somebody's gonna page this one out, right?
Yeah, we're fastly approaching the point where you could probably cannibalize that at what, $100 a page, and easily recoup your damages.
Well, some of the bigger pages will definitely go. That page and a few others will go for more than that.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll double your money for somebody destroying that book. So, because they're all Spider-Man pages. So I don't know. I usually see the pages, and this one I was like, there's only one page missing. Shit.
Holy shit. Okay, so what can you get per page?
Anywhere from 500 to on the low end, probably 100, probably as high as 500, depending on if it's like a cool splash page or something.
Yeah, I mean they'll do okay. I mean I didn't do the math on it. I haven't looked enough of them. I usually see AF-15s, but I'm starting to see Spider-Man 1. So, going alphabetical. This is one it's a book I like. Several first appearances of the Legion of Superheroes, which probably will never get made now that HBO Max and DC and all that stuff is kind of tied into Discovery. But who knows? It's a fun little cover, a tough book to find in a decent grade. So one to kind of keep on your radar if you see it cheap. I forgot that you threw this one in here, but still a solid sale on this book. I forgot to research price data because I forgot you threw some in, but I don't recall it being too much higher than this. Have you?
No. I think so.
I think it's still
Probably
staying pretty strong. I mean, there's no versus this one, which I had kind of went, holy shit, that's a newsie.
Yeah,
down in the 650s.
That is bad.
You could pay 1,500 to 1,800 for it last year.
Wow.
Even a little more.
Wow.
I mean, somebody had a newsie raw. Like I was buying, pieces out of somebody's collection, and they had a newsies raw for like $50, and I was just like, I'm good. Wow. I passed on it. I was just like, I was like, I'm good.
If you run auctions, that's a good. Always buy those because you're not going to lose money on it.
Yeah, true. I mean,
it draws eyes to your auctions.
I hate messing around with raw books just because of the fact that like I've just had bad experiences with people being like, "Well, I say it's this, and you say the grade's that," and I'm like, you know what?
A lot of haggling.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, we're not playing that game. So, but yeah, I passed on it just because I was like, it's not a 9.8 copy, and Carnage has had his day in the sun. I'm just like, no, I'm good.
I think I sold a 9.2 newsstand before movie time for 400.
Yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable how cheap it got.
Yeah.
This book's staying strong. I mean, I remember when it was down, definitely 13ish, and I was thinking, man, 1200, I'm gonna buy a copy again, and it just never quite hit there. And now it's right back where it kind of hit the high notes. I'm sure there was a few sales higher, but it's kind of back in this the Suicide Squad days, let's call them.
Yeah,
when it was hot as shit.
I mean, and good on this character being one of the few, like, first off, the singular DC female character, short of like Catwoman, who actually like consistently sells like a book. Because yeah, I mean, like, people don't want to spend money on Poison Ivy, like, and yeah, I mean, Harley has her fans, and for it to be a character that's only existed for the last 30 years, you know, kudos to her for it. So, somebody over at DC is doing something right.
All right. What this one is? Oh, this one surprised me, honestly. I kind of thought it would have faded back into irrelevance after the show and, you know, whatnot. Just some data. There's 88 9/8. All-time high was 1,900, and that was in April of 22, so when money was flowing pretty big. If you kind of go back to 2018, which is when the show was kind of really going, it was floating in that 1,400 range. But the last sales prior to this one were really around 750, 800, so this was actually a bit of a bump to 1,200. So I'm not sure why.
I mean, is it getting, you know, newsstand love?
I assume they're all newsstand, aren't they?
It's probably the only one. Is that
I mean,
77 or something?
77? No, there would have been direct to market copies at this point.
All right, maybe
I'm only guessing. I'm only guessing on the year, but yeah.
Yeah, it's in that range.
It was 77 because my dad picked up a number 2 or either number 3, and that was some, like, he just weirdly picked up comics the year he and my mother got married. So yeah, it absolutely was 77.
Yes. All right. This I had to consult Rick, who did not make it tonight on this one. I was like, why is this Casper number 20 a $250 book? It's not even in great condition. You can see a chip out of the corner. He informed me that it's the first appearance of Wendy the Witch. So just add that to your random dollar bin looks, because who knows, might find one. Because I wouldn't know to look for this damn thing, and I don't know that I could dig through a box of Casper, but somebody as deviant as Mercenaut might.
Nah, I'm good on that.
I wouldn't even touch the box that this would be in.
I know.
Yeah, I was like,
Casper.
you'd be like, you know, funny animal adjacent books, like cartoon character books in this box over here. No, I'm good. And I would just walk right past it.
We got limited time.
Exactly. It's like, I'm not flipping through old Dale Gold keys of like characters like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, but no.
Oh, I got a kick out of it at 250. I was like, what the hell is that? Down with Crime.
Ooh,
Great cover. People love that one.
I'm feeling that.
Solid price. Not much to say on it. Just cool book, cool sale.
Oh, she got her piece too. All right, we're gonna have a shootout.
Yeah. Sean threw this one in there, and this is a book that, I mean, when it came out, was just dirt cheap forever. You could get 9/8 for what, $70.
I don't think they really dropped under 100. Well, I don't think.
I don't know.
And
man.
I think the only times they did is because people were forgetting. So this is technically the 6th print. It did drop on New Comic Book Day from the Comic Bug down in Manhattan Beach. They had a really cool event in Culver City, and they won LCS of the year and stuff like that. The guys, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Super cool guy that runs it. There's more than one guy that's cool to run it. And so they actually did this. So they got Sia and she was starting to get a little more comic love. So she did this and the sketch. This is not as rare as the sketch either. And so she did this. So they had her and Robbie Rodriguez signing that day. So that was kind of cool. So he's got the artist and the creator sitting there. And yeah, it was a fun day. I got a double SS 9/8 of both of them that day. They're still just they haven't seen they're still just tucked away. But yeah, Comic Bug did this one, so I think people don't know that it was like there. Plus, it came out 6 months after the original, so
yeah, it's just one of those weird ones that I think at this point people just are not going to spend $1,000 on the other one, and this is where they're falling. It's kind of like that third print that just people are going to that because everything's gone. This was one you don't see many of these move in this kind of grade.
Yeah, that was recovered nicely.
Yes. So 3,200. There are 3 9/8 of this book, in case you're wondering. One of those did sell for $90,000 in 2021. There's surprisingly 141 8.5s, but this is the only sale in all of 2022 of an 8.5, or at least only GPA sale. Last year in November, it was up to 4,500, so it's down a bit, kind of much like everything else. But this is kind of where it was floating before the 2021 kind of cash influx hit. So really retaining value pretty well, other than kind of a blip up for a sale last year. This one for a 2.5 is gorgeous. Second highest sale I could find. There was an 11K sale last year. Sales in the last 2 years down to 7,300. But I mean, 2.5s are not created equal, and this one is really, really pretty. I mean, colors are good.
Did we see the other pictures of this?
No, but I'm like, sure, it doesn't. Even if the back's bad, somebody's going to pay more for a beautiful front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotta see what's doing.
So, I just thought that was a beautiful. I mean, I had a nice copy at 3, and it wasn't that nice looking. One of the favorites, good old Lost 23. I thought it had been down. I haven't seen a sale in forever. But this is actually a lower sale. They've been selling closer to 14.50. So somebody actually got one a little lower than they've been trending. It's never dropped off the map, but there was a while you could get it for $800, $750 even. So, but I think Sean and I have a special place in our hearts for this book, because I think community kind of started out with this book. So
it definitely did. I have one left, 9/8, and hasn't seen the light of day in a long time.
It's one of the few books that's never for sale.
Yeah, it's low on the list, but yeah.
Well, I found one hunting with my kid one time, and he's like, "This is that cover you like, Dad?" I'm like, "Yes, it is," and that's it. That's it's probably gonna go to him. So, here was one kind of fun. Saga RRP, lower grade. Probably would have done better raw, but it looks like buy-in for any copies about $1,000 now.
Dude, SS sold for like $4,000. Like, that's an 8.5. Never mind.
Yeah, 8.5.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, right, 8.5.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it might have sold better raw, but I mean, try to find another copy of the book. I think was kind of where they're at with that price point.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. This was. I'm gonna come back to this one. This was yours. I'll let you say what you were one on this one. Just a lower print run side. It feels cheap for most
lower print run. 213, 14, and 15 are on that. That's a good buy for it. 213.
I was gonna say it felt cheap.
Yeah, 213. That was a good one. I just got a 9/8 213, and so I was checking it out, and I think there's one for sale for like 600 from a height of 1,500 for 213.
Ooh.
And 14 and 15, I think the print run's the same on all of them. So anyway, I might try to sub the 214 and 215 one of these days soon. See how that goes, because they previously didn't pass 9.8 pre-screen. And so these, but I think they're low. And also wanted to sort of point out, I've said this before, I think on here that Spawn has the craziest discrepancies in prices between raw and graded on both ends of the spectrum. Like, I think this is about a $75 or $100 book at least, and another $100 for a 9.8 of a Spawn book this rare is just really seems really low to me. You know what I mean? But you'll see Spawns like starting, I think it's at 220 that started doing the homages. Man, you'll get raw copies are $80 to $100 and 9.8s at like 150. And it's like, what's going on here? You know?
I looked at grading a few and I'm
time,
like,
you'll have a one that's like a common number that there's not that many of will be like $1,500 and a raw copy $6.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't get a 9.8 on them.
Spawns are a weird little entity there. So we talked about another Spider-Man newsstand. Here's another one with some rough fate. So February 2022 was the top at $11.50. So we're down at half now. Now we're not post movie and all that stuff. So who knows where it'll go? The non newsstands are still selling near 200, which honestly is surprising.
I mean, we're a year away from that coming out, so
yeah. Well, yeah. Now we're a year again. That's good because how much shit I was too lazy to grade.
I don't know. I think newsstand might be the way to go on this one, but
I would think so. This is, and no offense, but to me, this over the Toy Biz. The Toy Biz is just like a later printing to me, even though it's an awesome book. You know, no complaints about it. But I think Newsy's got to be the way to go. I saw this.
I got out of Toy Biz and was very happy at my price.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I got $2,000 in trade value for it, so I was like, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, to me, it's this one, but I get it. Or 365 newsstand, you know, which should sell for more than this, but neither one of them are that expensive. I think I've got each one, this and a not the newsstands, but both the regular 365s up for like $350 each or something with not really any sniffs. But I'm not really trying to come off that price right now because what's the point?
Yeah,
and they're tough. They're both going to be tough to find. They're also not tough to find, obviously, but tough to find in that high of a grade. And with that foil cover on this one, and then as the 365 press is better than you'd think it would, the paper does, but that it's so damn thick that it's just if you got a dent on the side of that thing, it's there. You know, you can flatten it, but that's it. So the back of 365 presses pretty easily, but the front's tough. Plus the heat with the either the foil here or the hologram on the other one. You just can't hit it like you can in any of the other books. So if you're looking for these in 9.8s, I really would say this is the time to buy. I don't know what's going to happen in the market next year, but this isn't. I don't think these are too bad of an investments to wait and see for like when before next Memorial Day, in my opinion. So
there's still some nostalgia wave on this book.
Yeah, for 1 second I got pretty excited when I saw that price, and before I realized it was newsstand, and I was like, wait a second, they should have bought mine. It's way cheaper.
Good thing he's not a DC character. He'd be selling tacos this month.
Yeah.
Oh, poor taste. I'm sorry. It's a nice sale for Batgirl 8.0.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough grade.
It's so hard in grade like that.
Yeah, you see him beat.
Yeah, I've never seen above a 5 like in the wild. Like that's all that ever came across my desk was always like 5 and below.
I don't even know that I've seen a nice one at a show. I mean, I'm sure out on the West Coast you probably see a little more, but over on my side of the world, I don't see things in that grade like that.
Yeah. Oh, not really. I saw the one that I bought years and years ago. I just keep that. I keep that. I'm like, dude, where the hell? How you can't replace them? No. That's the thing with these ones. These are such good buys because you can't replace them in that grade. And if you're DC, like this isn't this wasn't before, and it's not movie spec. It's too expensive. But like, you know what I mean? An 8.0 in this, or what's what's comparable? All the Kamala books dropped, off the planet basically.
You're looking at a Miles.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this or Ultimate Fallout 498. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, you got to take this because you can get a Miles 98 any day of the week.
If you're just dropping $3,000,
yeah,
this is where
this
you're going.
this is a good auction.
This is a book that somebody's freaking taking a bath on right now. I couldn't decide if it was expensive or cheap when I saw it.
You're right.
But I looked, and back in February, which must have been announcement time, and these were the last two sales, $22.50 and $24.50.
Jesus.
No sales in 9.6, and then this one takes a bath at $7.50.
I forget what's the significance of this again? I forget.
It's the first time he's Adam Warlock or whatever.
It's basically the first. It's his first series. He's not him, and it's Magus. So, but also, so it's this, and then wait, was Marvel Premiere?
Oh, you're right, Marvel Premiere. This is Magus. You're right, Magus.
So this is the first Magus, and it's his first solo, even though it's Strange Tales. Because you'd think Marvel Premiere was a solo. So I guess how many issues of Marvel Premiere started with him? Was it like this was at 10? Because this went to I think 183 or 184.
Yeah.
Oh no, because this went into like 183 because then the actual Warlock series came out.
Yeah.
The Power of Warlock.
Yeah, this character is such a tough one to put money on.
Dude, look at it.
I got out of it because I just couldn't handle it.
Let's call Trey, see what he thinks.
Yeah.
Are we saying this is who? Are we saying they're lucky to have gotten $7.50 for this 9.6 or what?
We're saying whoever bought it at the $24.50 is probably crying in their Cheerios.
Mm.
And then this is a decent seller, GD Comics. To see him enough. So, a couple more. Walking Dead. This book continues to amaze me of its ebbs and flows. I mean, height of popularity, it went up towards not quite 5, I don't think. And then it went down to, I think you could have got it at 18 for some point in time. And then it went back up. I mean, it's on its third kind of wave. It's on a downtrend. But I mean, even last year when the money was flowing, it was pushing back towards 4K again. So I don't know if I'd get on or off this ride on this book. It's I don't even know. I think the horror collectors are going to probably keep it alive longer term, but I don't know what that price point's going to be. So it just is an interesting one that doesn't seem to die. I mean, now that the show is off the air, I guess we'll see what happens. But I just think there's enough of a fan base that it's interesting. And probably won't lose cultural significance for a while.
Yeah, I think this book has crossed over to a point in the cultural zeitgeist where it's just going to kind of live forever. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not making the analogy that this is anything like TMNT, but Turtles haven't really been relevant in like a good 10 years. And it's just what they mean to comic books. It keeps that book selling. And I think, honestly, this book has kind of transitioned over to that point of lower end of that spectrum, but still like
it's probably more like The Crow. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's just like this is just a significant book to the culture when it comes to comics. And for that reason, it will continue to always sell.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where that price point is and when it's going to go down or up again and what it's going to make it do that, but it's going to be one that kind of isn't, the bottom isn't dropping out, and I don't think the sky is, doubling anytime soon.
Realm is going to live on. I mean, Andrew Lincoln, them not paying Andrew Lincoln or him moving on, I don't remember exactly which happened. That it just hurt. I mean, I guess Kirkman just got to where he was done with it because it ended abruptly. I don't want to say abruptly, like I'll be honest, I didn't read the last issues, but like I read the last issue, Negan Lives. But
Go figure.
Yeah, good shit. And I read so I read or Red Lots, but like with the show. So to me, yeah, I think you guys are totally right about it. Just iconic. Great book, great cover. Totally. Yeah, I had 198. Sold it, made like $500 because it was graded when I got it and I had a discount. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'd love to have this one back in my collection.
Yeah. But I think the one you just got to watch in time.
To be honest, I'd be fine with a like just a raw copy with the nice flat clean cover.
Yeah.
You know, for the price, you won't lose money on it. You know, probably not. I mean, you know, don't get too grand, but...
Probably not. So the last couple are just more. I grabbed some images and I researched, and it was just weird. So this one, these pop art covers seem to sell very well.
Man, put that away. That's on my want list. Go on, move on.
So just kind of, you see these kind of things in the bins, look for it. 256. The other one that I skipped over was I had to research. I didn't remember what it was, I guess. But they put it as the Liechtenstein Drowning Girl, and he's the pop artist that did a bunch of. So I was like, this is a 4.0 romance of not a great cover. What's going on with it? He's the guy that did the comic, basically swipes and turned them into pop art.
Right.
He stole a lot of Russ Heath, a lot of other ones. This is the Drowning Girl, and that's where this one was stolen, or swiped from, whatever you want to call it. I just thought it's interesting that those sell for so much. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around it, but I mean, there must be some true.
It makes sense just because these are just, pop art, very popular. Okay, but yeah, these are kind of like cultural zeitgeist things. I know I have a handful of Liechtenstein romances, and they all kind of like bleed together as far as the covers go. So I'm not quite sure if I have this one specifically, but I hope so.
So the closest modern thing we have is the Batman meme issue with the slap.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this is the 70s version of that, 60s version of that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I don't know. It was interesting. Got me down a rabbit hole. I mean, I've heard of it and I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all the issues, so kind of cool. All right. Sorry, not as good as Dino at working too many buttons at once. So, take that off. And so I think we're 2 pickups. Anybody got something this week?
I had a couple. Relatively minor stuff. All right, so
only relatively minor.
Yeah, so being back in Atlanta, I had to pay my folks at Infinite Realities a visit because they're always good to me. So was able to work out some trades plus cash and a couple books. So picked up a Heir to the Empire 196 newsstand because I am a homer for Thrawn, and I feel like people have kind of forgotten about this book and moved on to other pastures.
Hey, Chris, what would you rather have? Okay, that in the 9.6 or direct in the 9.8? Where are you going?
I'm honestly taking the newsstand in the 9.6.
Okay.
But just because of rarity. I mean, those newsstand comics weren't taken care of, and so finding them in higher grades is a more difficult feat, in my opinion.
Didn't somebody shared in a chat that somebody on Instagram bought the freaking 08 of that recently?
Solid buy.
I believe it was Red Hood.
Nice. And this needs to be reholder because this is definitely during those days of quality control being absolute trash coming out of CGC.
So yesterday.
But was able to pick up a Knights of the Old Republic 9.8 first Revan. So nice. Again, they had both of these at the shop. Was able to
that is a nice cover still.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous cover. And I have a 9.6 and now I finally have a 9.8 of this. So I'm happy to have it. But yeah, so as per usual, they took care of me, was able to move duplicates that I had in my collection. And yeah, so if you're in the Tucker, Georgia area, definitely go check them out. They're good people and they're willing to trade and change up their inventory, change up your inventory. So definitely pay them a visit.
All right. I got one. I'll share quick. Just I forgot. I've got just stuff that I ordered forever ago coming in, and the guys at Hive had sold me on this cover, so I bought a 9.8, and wasn't too much money, but I love it. It's the homage to the what's that damn book now? The SDCC one.
We Can Never Go Home.
We Can Never Go Home. So I didn't get that one. I missed it. I'm sure Leg had a few, and his little buddy at the time had many. So, but I do dig this one for the few bucks. Happy to get it. I also bought some of an array of variants in the record and whatnot at the time, but just wanted the CGC 9.8 because I think it's a gorgeous cover. So, all right, Carter, you got something?
Yeah, I went to the comic book store today. It was a light day, but we picked up
Nice.
a nice low grade copy of 4-color 596.
Nice.
They have it at a 2.0, and I got this for $60.
Damn, that's a steal.
What?
I saw that. I'm like,
Dude, I've been looking for years and never even had one.
I know, right? This thing is tough as nails to find. I've been after this for a long time.
Bugger. Yeah, I mean, I was wondering, like, I was thinking 150, too.
Yeah, because it was
easy.
Yeah, because this store it's like they get new inventory in all the time, and they restock their wall all the time, and this was just kind of in the back issue bins. You know what I'm saying? So
if you're looking, you're looking, and if you're not, you're not. That's
exactly.
I mean, like $100 a point is kind of my Mason Dixon line on that book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that 200 right in front of me. I'd pick it up, no problem.
Yeah. So for 60, I'm like,
no brainer.
Yeah,
because you won't find it again. I mean, you just won't find another forever.
But I think that's it.
Very nice, very nice. Big Leg, you got some stuff for us?
Yeah, I do. So, anyway, I was like, I didn't get anything this week, and then I was like, oh wait, I got a bunch. So I'll try to go through this fast. Okay, so these are a little raffle win, but high on Tosin, so happy to grab these guys. Still waiting for more Tosin. But so I went to the store. I had to drop my mom off at the airport on Wednesday, and so they had all their variant boxes were their summer deal of free or not free cover price, might as well be free cover price variants. So I got really excited because when I see something like that, and I thought they'd been there forever like that, and I'm all, this would be a pick through crap. No, they'd just gone on sale.
Nice.
And like maybe not that day, but I had third pickets or something. But I left with like 75 books. I'm not going to show them all, but they average less than $5 each. And anyway, whatever the cover price, whatever I paid. So I'll try to hustle through these. So these are all some of the Snake Eyes Dead game Rob Liefeld stuff. A lot of these are going to be quick sales. So these don't go for a ton of money. But nice stuff. People like to buy Rob. Good whatnot stuff. So some of these ratios, like I think this is this is a ratio. I think 1 in 25 for Superior Spider-Man. Anything with the Goblin Spidey, rare ratio. I'm going to pick up. So this is probably 2015, 2016. A Fantastic Four of 2017. $5 for a 1 in 100.
Oh damn!
Good stuff. They had, because nobody gave a shit besides me, but they got the 1 in 25s, and I think it's 1 in 50 from the Death's Head 1 series that came out a few years ago. And I'm like, these are just coming home with Sean. This is it. You can
Nobody
actually,
wanted you. I do. Right?
there's gold. Oh yeah, there's gold. Even I got Death's Head slabs up there. Thank my man Daryl Miller. He's got freaking comics for selling me Death's Head slabs. So those ones are not the four. I mean, anything not graded, I might sell someday. So what they had was a bunch of Ninja Turtle homages, and I can't remember the names of all the books that are not written on there because some are the virgins. So they had TMNT homages. One like for this Betty Page. Uh, I even forget which one this one is, but another TMNT virgin homage.
We need
This one, I think maybe is this Jennifer Blood for not sure.
Raphael.
For the Raphael Panther, right? So a lot of these are dynamite.
Oh. I don't even think I knew those existed.
I didn't until I was digging through there, and I was like, for a few bucks, I will absolutely take these home. So some of these Marvel Action Kid stuff I like to buy. So this is the RI, which I think is they're all 1 in 10s, I think, for Black Panther. I got some of those. Same with this one. So they'll sell for more. They're harder to find. I got some I sold in auctions already last week, but I mean Negan Live Silvers for $5. I got a bronze second print for $5 or whatever it is, $4.99, whatever. The women's championship belt. I forget which ratio this is. I mean, it's got a $60 price tag. I haven't looked it up. I don't think it sells for that.
But it sells for more than $5.
You don't know. It sells for more than $5. And if it doesn't, I'm keeping that women's championship belt for myself, and maybe I'll wear it for Halloween. I don't know. And so, and these were sitting around a long time. You don't find these in bins anymore. The Mad variants.
Oh yeah, those are
absolutely love these. And a lot of these, I mean, tech's probably not that hard to find. I found the Wonder ones cheap for a while ago. I got the Justice League also.
Some of them sell though fairly well.
Oh no, yeah, they do. And I'm sorry, I cover it. At $3.99. They're leaving with me. And some of the stuff is rare, and I know it sells, so I don't even always look it up because I don't have to. So this is the Montez variant. So this is a Power Rangers #1.
Oh yeah.
Virgin variant. All this stuff. And at $5 for me, I know I can move on, and I'm making the piles rather than sitting there on eBay all day. More shit you just don't find. The Enchanted Tiki Room.
Oh yeah, those are
#1 variant. Tough book to sell. Tough book to find. Probably easier to sell. They were a little hotter for a little while, but again,
those Disney things come back around.
Right. And then I had to do this. There's a Goldie Vance Virgin. God knows how long that's been in there. And I was just like, dude, that's going home with me. I think kids might still like her. I don't know. Someone can help. But I was like, that has to go.
If not, you found it. You'll find it at home. Make somebody happy with it.
Yeah. The Optimus Prime reconstruction. I just can't find. I can't find this. There's one. It's a guy that's in one of our groups. It's not Tim. The only other one I find online is listed $150. So I don't know. This Optimus Prime Revolution IDW. I haven't looked. It's the RI cover B, so I haven't looked too deeply into like a quick eBay search. But any popular stuff where it's a good cover, which I think this is, go ahead and grab it. Same with these Frank Villas, Vader Castle, same thing, gorgeous cover. This one nobody's talking about, but here's the Star Wars Adventures #7 Frank Villa. So I don't know. That's the first appearance that's super hot, right? Or is it the wrong damn series? Anyway, I'm still grabbing the Star Wars Adventures.
Those are nice looking books.
Yeah, they're just good looking books. Atlantis Attacks. I think this is the one per store or something. It's about a $50 book, I believe. So any Namor variants, I'm grabbing them now because there's actually not that much modern stuff. When I see them for $5, I'm grabbing. This one kind of so I think this is a Wilshire, and it doesn't even say like after Platt on it, which kind of surprised me. I also think this is like a $50 book, and there's not too many of them. I remember that it came out for a second, and like here it is, right? So that was obviously no brainer. We've got so the soups. These are any of the boys variants. Gonna grab those. Same with this one.
What's that?
Any of the boys? Yeah, I forget forget what number, but it's once again. I don't know if I showed this one because I got multiples, but that's another. Maybe that's the Jennifer Blood. I don't know. I believe this is the 1 in 25 for Kiss number 1, and thought it's pretty decent there. This one is I got a couple of these 1 in 25 for Kiss number 3, Kyle Strand, and I can't find this thing. I can't find this thing anywhere, and I don't know how many people are buying Kiss number 3s, 25 at a pop.
Kyle Strand, one of the worst.
Yeah, so I got a couple of these strands. I don't know what to do with them yet. And this thing, it's down from its heyday, but still got to go with
that was a big one for a minute.
Yeah, big one for a minute. I think it's about $30 now. Not too bad. This is a gorgeous. But it's not. I don't know if you can see the foil on it, but David Mack, Vampire the Masquerade number 1. I want to say 1 in 25, but it is the more rare variant. You can kind of see.
Ah.
Yeah, this is a nice book. There's like a similarly colored one that he has, but it's the white background. Anyway, the red looks absolutely great. So that was gorgeous. Don't know what the ratio is on this Mega Man. Anyway,
you aren't leaving it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not leaving ratio Mega Mans, dude.
Even if you need to bribe a friend of ours with that.
Yeah, exactly. These are two of the good finds in there. Cover price to call Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah.
Those are good pulls. I think these are about $50.
Yeah.
And really
there's life in those still.
Yeah, I haven't taken them. They're absolutely great cover. I haven't taken them out to assess, but I'm really hoping one of them is a 9.8 worthy. And that would actually pay for the whole damn stack if it was. And then this is product of digging in your own boxes. I was trying to do some cheap auctions to lead people to my Big Friday auction I had, and then you're like, okay, screw it, I'll run this one. Let me check the grade on it, and then you got newsstand Deadpool, and you're like, that's staying in the bag and it's not getting auctioned. So. A $5 blind purchase got me the basically the best copy, the Deadpool newsstand version of X-Force 1 for $5, which I think this is about $50 or something like that. And so I'll sell one of the other crappy 50 copies of X-Force 1 I have, and not this one.
Very nice.
I believe that's it.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I think that's a lot. We talked movies. We talked bullshit, other DC fun, and please tune in and check the rest of the shows this week. I know we got Comic Shop dropping again, and crap. What night's Wednesday's the Nerd Bird, so we'll catch you there, and we'll see you all next week. Hopefully DC can provide us some more fodder, and thanks, gentlemen.